motion for a resolution of Parliament to support the deployment of the Uganda People's Defense Forces contingent as part of an international stabilization force in the Gaza Strip at the invitation of the United States of America.
Honourable Minister for Defense.
Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members, the motion is moved under Section 38(2) of the Uganda People's Defense Forces Act and Rule 61(1)(k) of the Rules of Procedure of this House. Aware that Article 210, Article 210, Clause D of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda mandates Parliament to make laws regulating the Uganda People's Defense Forces, including the deployment of troops outside Uganda. Noting that Section 38 of the Uganda People's Defense Forces Act provides that the President may deploy troops outside Uganda for purposes of peacekeeping with the approval of Parliament. Further noting that on the 7th of October 2023, Hamas and allied armed groups launched a large-scale attack in southern Israel, killing around 1,200 people, mostly civilians, and taking more than 250 hostages. In retaliation, Israel responded with a large-scale military campaign aimed at dismantling Hamas and recovering the hostages, which has caused mayhem in the Gaza Strip. Aware that the current Israeli-Palestine conflict is rooted in more than a century of competing national movements, disputed territory, repeated wars, and failed peace efforts that has led to extensive destruction in the Gaza Strip, a very high death toll, mass displacement, and severe humanitarian crisis, requiring immediate intervention to protect the civilians and allow for increased humanitarian access in parts of affected directly by the conflict. Cognizant that the United Nations Security Council, at its 10,046th meeting on the 17th of November 2025, adopted Resolution 2803 of 2025, which among other things welcomed the establishment of the Board of Peace as a transitional administration with international legal personality that will set the framework and coordinate funding for the redevelopment of the Gaza Strip pursuant to the comprehensive plan and in a manner consistent with the relevant international legal principles until such a time as the Palestinian Authority has satisfactorily completed its reform program as outlined in various proposals, including the peace plan as presented by His Excellency Donald Trump, the President of the United States, in 2020, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the Republic of France, and can securely and effectively take back control of the Gaza Strip. Recalling that Resolution 2803 of 2025 calls upon member states and international organizations to work with the Board of Peace to identify opportunities to contribute personnel, equipment, and financial resources to its operating entities and to give full recognition to the International Stabilization Force, acts and documents. Noting that in the month of July 2026, His Excellency Donald Trump, the President of the United States, via multiple emissaries, contacted His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, seeking Kampala's contribution to the International Stabilization Force by sending Uganda People's Defense Forces contingent. Further noting that on various dates within the month of July 2026, the Republic of Uganda, in accordance with Section 38 of the Uganda People's Defense Forces Act, has held planning meetings between the Uganda People's Defense Forces, senior leadership and officials of the United States Embassy in Kampala, as well as the leadership of the International Stabilization Fund on the deployment of Uganda People's Defense Forces contingent to the Gaza Strip. Aware that following the invitation by His Excellency Donald Trump, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, is ready to deploy in the Gaza Strip the desired Uganda People's Defense Forces contingent in accordance with Section 38 of the Uganda People's Defense Forces Act. Appreciating that the acceptance of the request by His Excellency Donald Trump, the President of the United States, by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of Uganda, is anchored in the following legal, diplomatic, and humanitarian and strategic justifications. 1. Participation of Uganda in the International Stabilisation Force is consistent with the national objectives, in particular, National Objective 27.2, which provides that Uganda shall actively participate in international and regional organizations that stand for peace and for well-being and progress of humanity. Additionally, Uganda has a strong army with capable organizational structures, which has enabled Uganda to successfully support peace operations, notably AMISOM, now AWSOM, South Sudan, Central African Republic, and various United Nations peacekeeping missions to enhance international peace and security. 3. Uganda's participation as part of the International Stabilization Force will aid in preventing further conflict in the region, thus contributing to broader international security by reducing risks of renewed armed conflict between Israel and Palestine, preventing extremist groups from exploiting instability and sabotage the ceasefire implementation process. Uganda's participation will enhance monitoring of compliance, supervise implementation of security arrangements, assist in demobilization, and support the return to normalcy of the otherwise unpleasant situation obtaining currently. Uganda's participation as part of the International Stabilization Force will guarantee an ample opportunity for antagonizing sides to plan for ushering in peace in the Gaza Strip. 6. Uganda's participation in the International Stabilization Force will contribute to elimination of terrorist cells that have greatly contributed to international terrorism, that have in the past used the Gaza Strip as a base of operations due to the ongoing conflict. Firmly committed that throughout the period of deployment, the Uganda People's Defense Forces will remain neutral, comply with international humanitarian law, protect civilians without taking sides in political disputes, and operate under clearly defined rules of engagement. Now, therefore, be it resolved by this Parliament as follows. We seek the resolution of Parliament that Parliament supports the decision of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, to deploy the Uganda People's Defense Forces in the Gaza Strip for a peacekeeping mission in accordance with the Constitution of Uganda and Section 38 of Uganda People's Defense Forces Act. I beg to move.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Is the motion seconded? Major General Masiko, Major General Gonyi, Colonel Sylvia Meme, Colonel Christine Nekesa, Honorable Omara, I don't know whether he has a rank, Honorable Dr. Wakida, Amuria, Ngora, Honorable Captain John Bosco Kashari, Dr. John Okia, Right Honorable Prime Minister, Second Deputy Prime Minister, and the front bench, which includes finance, who will guarantee money, Attorney General ensuring the law is clear, and Minister for Health, who will ensure that our people are healthy, Honorable Bicham, Honorable Chambade, Honorable Peace, Honorable Hunter, and many of you, Honorable Anyota, and please, many of you, Honorable Kajwenje, former Chair of Defense. Yes, thank you, Honorable colleagues. Honorable Minister, do you have any, would you want to add any additional justification, or this is enough?
I've given the justification in my motion.
Thank you. So, I open up for debate, and I'll start with the Shadow Minister for Defense. Procedure.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, for the record, we are dealing with a very serious matter where we have to commit the country. We were served with the order paper for today. I acknowledge your powers to amend the order paper to introduce any matter of any nature. But given the seriousness of this matter, and in a subtle way, I saw how my good friend, Honorable Minister of Defense, brought in this, and the resolution we are about to make today. I would only, Right Honorable Speaker, wonder whether it's not procedurally right that you adjourn, you give us some time for us to address our mind to the motion, and also using our technical officers to review the previous deployments we have made. Otherwise, from my perspective, if we took this one, we passed a resolution with the ramifications thereunder, it will not be fair on our side, Right Honorable Speaker. I seek your indulgence on that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Now, honorable colleagues, I must put it on record that the Minister for Defense brought this motion much earlier. He did his part. So it was an oversight on my side for not putting it on the order paper. So I want to own up. And today is Thursday, and I have been, there are on some of these issues. But, colleagues, here matters which are big. That depends on you. The most critical. No matter you think it's big, we are always ready. We've been reviewing. This is an issue just for debate. And of course, I was reminded earlier on order of business, Rule 26, Rule 1, that I must give government business a priority. So I have to ensure this is sorted out today. Either we accept or we don't accept, but we finish our part. Yeah. And Honorable Muira, I'm very sure with your experience, we are going to debate. Let's open the debate and you see. People are going to be, it's going to be a robust debate. Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, much as I would have no objection for our Uganda People's Defense Forces to go for peacekeeping missions, Mr. Speaker, I have issue with our forces being in quite a number of countries. Central African Republic, DRC Congo, Somalia, Sudan, mention it. And now we are about to dispatch another contingent to Gaza Strip. Mr. Speaker, under normal procedure would be required as the legislature to know the performance of our missions, peacekeeping missions in these countries, and then we would be able to assess and determine whether surely we are doing very well to release another force to a very risky, high-risk region like the Gaza Strip. The Speaker, because this is in the Gaza Strip, unlike these other countries I've mentioned, it is urban warfare, and it becomes very difficult to distinguish between combatants and civilians. And therefore, the risk of ambushes is extremely high. And I would want to, as a Parliament of Uganda, to be as protective to our forces as much as possible, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Now, that was a good debate. Yes. No, that's not procedure. That wasn't procedure. That was a debate. So, and I'm sure I said, you must pass.
Right Honorable Speaker, it will be unfair for us to reject or to accept without doing the work the way Parliament is supposed to do it. The matter of deploying our soldiers to a very risky place like Gaza, where Israel strikes every now and again, Right Honorable Speaker, cannot be just casually passed here. We have to prepare enough.
Honorable colleagues, please. Honorable Samba, first take your seat. Okay? Please, please. If you know you've come here to do casual work, go out. We are doing serious work here. Okay? We are here to do serious work. Anyone who feel they are doing casual work, just get out. Please, debate. Honorable Seungu.
Mr. Speaker, sir, you see, we as members of parliament, and even the opposition, you don't take us for the sake of thinking that whenever you have anything you want to do by government, we are against you. But your packaging sometimes is a problem. For example, you've been in the government. Dr. Chionga, Honorable Prime Minister, was a Minister of Defense. And in a number of occasions, you could take soldiers and then you come for approve after taking. Here you are today with the Council Shiriowa, Honorable Shewa, fellow land friend. He has come to seek for motion before a deployment. Then, we were together in the Committee of Defense on Tuesday. He has fully mobilized this side, leaving out the opposition member who is his counterpart, the Minister of Defense. And I am ambushed on the floor of Parliament. But Mr. Speaker, why we come in to contest the way the motion is brought and seeking for indulgence is to have a fruitful procedure for carrying out this particular exercise. Members of Parliament from Nebi, go to a place called Parombo and look for a person who was a sergeant called Sergeant Okumu in the military police. He came from America for a military course, and on arriving at Bomba after 3 years, one of his sergeant had committed offenses and was in prison. What happened? They said, no, who can lead this team? He said, let us send this band. The moment he arrived in Somalia, after being deployed, from America, that very night he came back. In Somalia, he was hit on arrival, and they all died. These are the things we are looking at. Mr. Speaker, sir, and the Honourable Minister of Defense, there are questions you have to ask. There are areas you want to know. That's why the Speaker was asking you, are you speaking to your motion? And you stated what you have said is enough. But there are questions you want to know. Who are going? How will they be looked after? You insulate those particular areas that are of confidential to security, but there are those that are supposed to be known by Parliament. When you talk about deploying my son, my brother, I must know the interests of his family as he's going. I must know the interests of the country. What are the interests? What are benefits? But here we are, the Speaker, of course with this number, you're going to win the motion. But facts will end up boomeranging on you. Let us debate, but give us room to give our concerns. Then those concerns can be addressed as fast as possible. Then your motion carries that day. And you
Honorable Seungu, kindly give your concerns, okay? You see, motions of this nature, that's a problem. You see, it doesn't put weight to say, if it's a motion for deployment, you should give it this treatment. If it's a motion for where the rules are very explicit, motions which require a lot of scrutiny, assent committees, these are your rules. So you should have put it very clear in the rules, honorable colleagues, that for such an important motion, it should be referred to the Committee on Defense, scrutinized, we call witnesses, we call former UPDF officers, we call who, but that's not what you did. So I'm only interpreting the rules you gave me. And that's why I'm confined, and I'm not ready to go outside the rules, okay? So please, let's, Honorable Seungu, if you have any concerns, raise them, the minister should answer.
Mr. Speaker,
even if you don't conclude, raise your concerns.
No, actually, what you are saying, I'm in total agreement with you. By the more fact that the motion was sent to you, the Honorable Minister, looking at me here, would have even given us the same chance with my leader of opposition. Within those few hours before plenary, I would have prepared what to respond to. But here I am talking about Parombo, those who were killed, those who have not been paid. There are even soldiers, Mr. Speaker. So I don't know, but for me, of course, I'm not supporting your motion because it's an ambush on us. It's an ambush on us. And kindly, your packaging. Procedure for what now? Huh?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Ugandans vote their best to represent them in this House. And we are representatives, not delegates, meaning we should be able and have the competence to address any matter which comes. We sit on the front bench, you usually raise issues of national importance, and we respond immediately as ministers. So the point of procedure I am raising is why our colleagues are fearing to debate, because this debate,
Just it.
Right Honorable Speaker, is it procedurally right for our colleagues to fear debate? You have given us opportunity to raise any concerns. Yes, to raise any concerns, and the Minister of Defense, the Prime Minister, and the government is here to respond to the concerns.
Thank you.
So is it in order and procedurally correct for Honorable Seungu to fear to represent his people in Karungu to debate this innocent and very straightforward motion?
Thank you.
Which is provided for in our rules.
Thank you. Now, honorable colleagues, I think Honorable Seungu's fear came from, I think, was it the point of, was it Honorable Mwiro against Seungu on Samba, who said they mobilized one side. Okay? So, but you see, this is not mobilization to vote. It's a contestation of ideas. Me, I will give both sides. But colleagues, we are talking. We have representatives of the UPDF here. We are saying we're exposing them to risks, to the dangers. Let me ask Major General Masco, whether this is a problem for you, who is representing the UPDF. No, he's an active soldier. Honorable Seungu, we've never been even an LDU, so me and you on such issues. Hey, you are an LDU? No. Let General Masco. Thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I stand here to fully support the motion. First of all, it's not true that this is an ambush. I know we have a government paper. One of the headlines, and you can go to records, this matter was in the public domain, that Uganda is being requested to contribute to an international stabilization force as had been resolved in the United Nations with a resolution which was being cited in the motion. This is an international stabilization force where various countries will contribute contingents. It is really very surprising that anybody would be feeling unhonored that your country, working with superpowers, is being requested to participate in such an honorable cause for peace and humanitarian cause. It's quite surprising. As for the doctrine of participation in military operations, the army is trained not to be in a dancing hall. The army is trained to defend humanity, defend territories against any levels of threats. So if you are saying UPDF is incapable of confronting any threats, test what we found in Mogadishu when a big force from a superpower had failed to contain the situation in Somalia. The first contingent which entered Mogadishu, which is an urban center, in a worse situation than what actually now is happening in Gaza Strip, should be enough testimony not to doubt the capability and the capacity of your force. You should be very, very proud as Ugandans that Uganda People's Defense Forces is viewed as the anchor of stability in a sea of turbulence regionally and now globally. I know some of you may be worried. How come it is the President of the United States that is inviting and proposing that this international stabilization force know why the shock? But that's beside the point. The doctrine of the forces is that we don't go to dance, we go to confront threats against society, against humanity. I beg to submit, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Let me pick Honorable Bamturachi Tumsime. Then Ongisto, you're coming after Honorable Tumsime.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Dear colleagues, members of Parliament, I stand here to support the motion. Two, to appreciate the Commander-in-Chief towards professionalizing the national force to an international standard now, and be proud about our UPDF. Right Honorable Speaker, by having this national force deployed outside, actually they are acquiring more skills. No wonder that's why we are on the market. How many countries are in the world? And they have not been even contacted. And these superpowers are not even buzzed about them. But they know what Uganda People's Force is. On the issue of time, Right Honorable Speaker, for the issues of security, when you are called upon to deploy, it should be with immediate effect. So I appeal to colleagues here, let us support the motion without delay, and we trust our force that it's going to acquire another grade on international standards. I support the motion and I submit.
Thank you, Major General Gonyi.
Right Honorable Speaker, in addition to what the Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs has presented as justification, and my senior Major General Henry Masiko has presented, I wanted to add one point. That, Honorable Speaker, Uganda has submitted the name of a Ugandan to the UN seeking that he becomes the Secretary General of the United Nations. It will be direct shooting in our own legs to say that Uganda should not participate in United Nations deployment. Besides, Uganda is a member of this nation and a member of the community of nations that is required to participate in such missions that include bringing peace. We all know that the situation in Gaza is not good. It's despicable when you see how people are living. We cannot be in this house as members of the representatives of the rest of Uganda and who want to live in a peaceful country, not to support the deployment of the UPDF to go and help members of the community that live in the Gaza Strip to have at least some semblance of peace and live normal lives like we do in our country. With that, Mr. Speaker, I submit.
Thank you. But, by the right honorable Prime Minister, I think we are proud of our son being a candidate for the UN as a parliament. But I've been waiting to see whether you'd want to seek our support, the Parliament of Uganda, to also add a voice and urge the international community. You know, if you feel we can add a voice, you can come here, you move a motion, we pass a resolution supporting our very own son, Ambassador Arutunu. It would be good. Honorable Wanyoto was an expert in Somalia. She's still. Let me first take advantage of this expert. Yes, then Honorable Chirumira. Oh, then Ongiso, I'm coming after Honorable Wanyoto.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. For the record, I'm Lydia Wanyoto Mtende, one member of Parliament, Mbale City, and I rise to second the motion. Honorable members, like my other colleagues have said, Uganda is a member of the United Nations, and we have that obligation to stand up to the case whenever the need arises. Therefore, this is an obligation when we are called upon to contribute to an important cause like this one. But also, every time, like my colleagues have said, when you are trying to post candidates, like the case we have now, competing for the office of the Secretary General of the UN, they want to know that you showcase what you've done for the world. You don't just to go. You say we've done this, and therefore, then we post a candidate. Our biggest strength as a country is for peace and security in the world. That one you can take to the bank. Uganda is known for contributing to the world order in peace and security, not only in East Africa, but beyond. Therefore, I think that we should fly the Ugandan flag very high, support this motion, deploy in Gaza, and we shall then have our space and position in the UN. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you,
Honorable colleagues, and support.
Honorable Ngiso Emmanuel, then Honorable
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for allowing me to say something, and particularly when NEBI is mentioned. Let me start by saying I support the motion. And I add that the sons and daughters of NEBI who have died in the line of duty, as NEBI people, we are very proud of them. And I want to state here that if in the selection, again, sons and daughters of the greater NEBI are included, we are going to be very happy, and we are only going to give them blessings so that they go and do everything that puts Uganda high up there. So let me ask people, let nobody try to discourage our children from this exercise. And I can assure you, we are ready. And as Greater NEBI, we are bordering Congo, for instance. And because we have brothers the other side, we believe whatever our forces are doing the other side is on good this side. So if we believe that what happens in Congo affects us, we must also believe that what happens in Gaza equally affects us. It may be far, but it affects us. So I want to support this motion, and I want to say no one should discourage our children. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Hassan Chirumira. Honorable Peter Okot.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, Uganda is a member state of the OIC, the Organization of Islamic Countries, where Palestine is a member. Given that we have an umbrella which joins Muslim countries. It might raise a diplomatic issue, especially not knowing which side Uganda is going to be on in Gaza. It's a battle. It's a battle between Palestine and Israel. They all fight a different war we do not know about. It has been there for years and years. And chances are that war is not about to end with the involvement of the UPDF. Now, the big question from the mover is to clarify to the country on which side is our army going to fight with. If it is a religious war, assuming, and given that Uganda is a member state of the Organization of the Muslim Countries, is it not going to raise a diplomatic issue between Uganda and the other member states of the OIC? Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Waruswaka. Oh, Peter Okot, then Honorable Waruswaka.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, this is not the first time that Uganda as a country is deploying outside Uganda. I must say that for the first time, that government is doing the right thing first. Honoring that parliament is important, bringing a motion before deploying. So I give them credit, and I urge them to continue doing the right thing. But Right Honorable Speaker, I think it is important that some time frame is placed to this. I remember when we deployed in Somalia, we didn't know we would stay in Somalia up to today. So it is important that some time frame is put for how long our participation is going to take in Gaza, but also our sons and daughters who will be going for deployment need to be treated well. We have information, stories from our sons and daughters who return from deployment complaining about their facilitations, that some people take advantage of their service. When they return, the package due to them either is given quarter or even not given at all. Many people who return, who are supposed to go and bond with their families, are kept in the barracks without allowing them to go back home because their facilitation have been hoarded by the people responsible. So this can also give a discouragement to selected members of the forces who are being taken for deployment. People who go for deployment need to go with open heart, clear-minded, without thinking backward that what could be the problem. So I think I support the motion so that we also participate in international arena. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, thank you, DP Whip and Shadow Minister. I hope the rope can align with you properly. But honorable colleagues, I was just reading. This is one of the issues I've tried it for up seriously, and I found, especially on the fears, I think this is the progress I've seen on it, and I was asking myself how the negotiations really took place. Hamas welcoming the force. I saw Hamas welcoming the force, and it's UN supported. It's not that it's unilateral or what. So when I saw Hamas accept welcoming the force, and then I saw Israel saying no, or will only withdraw if you put in this force. I felt that maybe this would be a big chance for Gaza to have peace. So, but he has raised very critical issues on the previous deployments. We don't want our children to go. You find the allowances are not coming. People turn against us and all that. Honorable Swaka.
Thank you,
Honorable Enos, procedure, just a speak procedure and then.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. This is not our first time to deploy our forces for peace missions. In 2007, when we were going to deploy in Somalia, there was a motion tabled by the then Minister of Defense, who is now the Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Chiyonga. When that motion came to the House, it was referred to the Committee of Defense and Internal Affairs to review the terms of engagement. Among those terms, we need to know the agreement that has been signed between Uganda and the deploying organization. In this case, whether it's the UN, whether it's the US government, we don't even know yet. We also need to know the funding of this force. Who is going to fund our stay in Gaza? We also need to know so many of those details that we cannot get in the motion that the Honorable Minister has tabled. Because, Right Honorable Speaker, we are deploying lives. It's not about NRM, it's not about opposition. It's about the lives of the soldiers that we are sending for the peace mission. I think it's important that the Honorable Minister of Defense gives us, even if it's 2 days, we get these details. We scrutinize the motion.
Raise your procedure matter.
We scrutinize the motion.
Raise your procedure
matter. My procedure matter was, if there's already a precedent that was set in 2007 when we were deploying in Somalia, why can't it be followed now?
Thank you. Now, honorable colleagues, every parliament makes its rules of procedure. The rules of procedure is every motion that requires to go to the committee. The rules provide so. Okay? So, you might find the parliament that time, its rules of procedure required that. The rules of procedure, please, I'm a custodian of the rules. Come on. Okay? So the rules of procedure I have, they don't provide for that. So I request you, next time when we are going into amendment of the rules, you propose that, so that motions of this nature, for example, RONs, you can see, they provide. It should go here, this one goes here. So, and you see, whenever I'm having any matter, I refer once the rules require me to do so. Once the rules don't, my hands are tied. Honorable Warswaka.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the Land Council and the Minister for having given this Parliament its authority and also accepted. Right Honorable Speaker, in our culture in Butaleja, they say, if I give you chicken, a basket may be full of mangoes, when it comes back, it shouldn't come empty. At least you bring banana. America has supported us several. It is now high time, if they need our support, we also do the same. Right Honorable Speaker, America has supported us in education, in health. Right Honorable Speaker, I also benefited from American training in engineering aspect. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to request members that we support. The good thing, the MPs representing the soldiers have supported. Right Honorable Speaker, the issue of Gaza, this is why fuel hiked. And if our people, they are going there, will try to reduce on the cost of living, especially in fuel, I support. However, I want to thank government this time on issues of corruption. They have started and they are biting. And I want to warn whoever will try to touch the monuments and the pay of the men and the women in uniform who will be going to offer their service
it is not business as usual. So, Right Honourable Speaker, I want to implore and I request this Parliament, as these officers go, Honourable Minister for Defence, you can call some few members, they pray for these people as they are going. Whenever you go for something, you have prayer. In Ilango, they say Lubanga, so that you give for Lubanga. And I want to implore Honourable Minister and the Government Chief Whip, these members.
Thank you. But honorable colleagues, I just want to ask you, in your constituency, because me, every soldier who happens to come from my constituency is robbing me to be deployed abroad. They are robbing me, and I'm like, you people, what are you robbing for to go to Somalia? People are robbing right and center. I don't know what is there. That's why me as a civilian, these are issues beyond me. We have one of our own who was deployed in Somalia, Honorable Bernard Otim.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Otim Bernard. Now, this is the right time to add retired sergeant, because we are talking matters of security. We are talking matters of people who serve this country. I'm giving you personal experience and also a word of encouragement. I worked in Somalia under AMISOM for 1 year, 2019-2020. It is out of the money I got from Somalia that I was able to go back to school. I studied law, I'm a lawyer. And that is why I'm here. So, honorable members, life is lived once. Whether you stay in this parliament, whether you stay where, you'll die. And not everybody who has gone to Somalia or whichever mission have died. The generals are here. I was in Somalia with the Honorable Mulongo, who was our boss then. Honorable Lydia Wanyoto is there. So,
I didn't know a general can request a sergeant. I thought you ordered.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker and colleague, for giving way. I want to inform this House, building on what he was presenting, that in the structure of the UPDF, we have a full-fledged international Peace Support Training Center. Single. This is a center well supported internationally. I want to allay any fears. The contingent that will be selected will not just go as if they are just moving to dance. They are going to go through the International Peace Support Training Center, and that's why my colleague who went through that center was able to survive.
Honorable Tim, conclude.
Yes, Right Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, therefore, it's important that as we send these men and women to go and provide the much needed peace in the Middle East, we pray for them. It's important that whatever matter is going to be raised here is taken in good spirit. Personally, I was the admin and personnel officer of the police contingent in Somalia. I was responsible for processing payments of all police officers, and nobody is complaining of payments. This is an assurance to the people here that in our communities, we even have town councils named Somalia. This is evidence that people who went to Somalia, came back and built homes, built trading centers. So this is not just a mission. It is an economic empowerment to our men and women in uniform. And therefore stand to support the motion that our officers be deployed. Thank you.
Lop, you told me you had some issues you wanted to raise.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, as first, I want to associate myself with the submission of the Honourable from Kabula. I was in this house when Honourable Chionga came one time seeking the resolution of Parliament. And what actually happened is that after some time, we received a lot of complaints, and as several officers were actually kept on asking us that under what terms are we being deployed? Because we are deploying Uganda People's Defense Forces. We are not deploying an army belonging to an individual. That's why there is parliamentary resolution and all parliamentary approval. Right Honorable Speaker, I do not want actually myself to debate from just a point of procedure, because there have been issues which have been consistently raised by people who have been deployed out of the country, and issues have not been resolved. Time and again, by us saying that we are debating this matter in this direction, we wanted an opportunity to review and then either support when we know that actually there's going to be no reoccurrence of issues which have been raised, because if a justifiable cause has been raised, and we all think that actually it's important that we do, I would still, Right Honorable Speaker, insist that if this House is to pass this motion in the form it is, then the Minister of Defense be tasked to lay on table the agreements under which our forces are going, so that we know that this is not business for few individuals within the UPDF. Honorable Chionga is here. The last time he was here, soldiers were complaining. When the agreement was laid, the agreement was talking about different amount of money to be given to soldiers who are going. And officers were giving different amounts. So that's why we needed actually the details of this agreement. So because we don't want to look like we're on this side, we're just opposed to the deployment if there is good cause.
Honorable Speaker, we cannot, the reason we are here is so we can enter into the agreement. If we enter into the agreement before coming here, you blame us for entering into the agreement before coming here. So we can talk about who is going to fund, but we cannot sign the agreement. The reason we are asking for your approval is in order for us to enter the agreement.
Thank you.
But the laying we can do.
Now, honorable colleagues, as you know, whatever we resolve, okay, here, whatever decisions we come to, we have committees which follow up on them and continue reporting periodically, okay? But I would also agree, I totally agree with the leader of opposition that indeed we would need the agreement laid here on table once concluded. If it is of classified nature, we would have a way of handling it. If there are issues, if it's open, we would have a way of handling it, okay? But what is important is that it's a matter which you don't just conclude and you say you go to sleep. You continue monitoring as an institution through the relevant committees of the House. Honourable Minister, many issues were raised. Let's first get these ones out of our way. No, colleagues, I'm allowing the minister first. I want first listen to the minister.
The issue that was raised by Honorable Nambeshi has been, I think, well addressed by Honorable Masiko. UPDF is a trained force, not a football team. So we are ready. If you give us the permission, we have the skill and capacity to maintain the peace. Honorable Sewungu, I'm sorry, my shadow Minister of Defense, I thought by interacting with you in the committee and informing you, and we actually, Honorable Chair, I did raise this issue in the committee and a number of questions were raised. When I appeared before the committee, I did mention that I am coming to the House, seek a motion, and we discuss it, but next time I'll even give written notice. Honorable Chirumira, yes, we are a member of UOC, just like we are IOC, sorry, just like OIC, Organization of Islamic, but we are also members of the UN. So we are going under the UN auspices. But just for your information, just for your information, the following countries have signed on to this. We shall ensure that whatever facilitation or whatever is supposed to be given to the troops is being done. The CDF troops is being done. The CDF has a purely no corruption policy in the UPDF, and I support him fully on that. I think I've finished all the issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The question I seek from the Minister is that
you now put the question that the motion for his, resolution of Parliament support the resolution of Parliament support the deployment of the Uganda People's Defence Force Forces contingent as part of an international stabilization force in the Gaza Strip at the invitation we shall agree. Copy of the Hansard and transmit them to the relevant minister. Next, relevant minister.